What is up everybody and welcome back to another Among Us video. I got online to play Among Us at very early hours. It was currently 3 in the morning and I wanted to see what imposter I could find. So I was looking for a match to join and I found a lobby that was filled with crewmates, which is very rare at this time. I then heard an explosion coming from outside the dropship, which really scared me because we're in space and our lives could be in danger. But somehow we got into the game and I knew something was about to happen. I walked down the hallway on the airship and there was a few crewmates that were near me. As I entered the lounge, I heard an explosion. And then a body was reported. Did the explosion cause the death of these 2 crewmates? I'm not sure. So I asked the rest of the crewmates, did anyone else hear that? Who was with me in the lounge? Cause I do remember a crewmate being near me. The crewmates then decided to eject Lime, and he was one of the imposters. But was he the one behind the death of the crewmates or was it the explosion? Now that I was back on the airship, I was looking around the map for any holes. And the first location that I decided to check was a lounge, since that's the area that I heard the explosion. The lights then turned off, and I could hear the air coming from outside. The airship is in danger, and since I haven't seen any crewmates for quite some time, I checked vitals, but everybody was alive. I then entered electrical, and as I was about to leave, the lights turned off. And there was an explosion right in front of me. So I ran away, thinking that I was going to fall off the airship. But when I went back inside, it was all normal. But why is it that I could hear the air coming from outside? There has to be a hole somewhere. So I continued to search across the entire airship to see if I could find the opening that caused the death of the 2 crewmates. A sabotage was then called, which made every crewmate panic. I was the one to fix the right side, and that's when I heard another explosion, and it was coming from showers. So I made my way over there, and that's where I found a dead body. Who is the imposter that is causing all these explosions? I am not sure. We were now back in the game and I went over to fix communications, since it was currently sabotaged. I was getting really worried. How am I still alive? And why isn't the airship crashing? While I was in engine, the doors were closed all around me, and I could hear noises coming from all directions. Is the airship being invaded? So I opened the door to the main hall, and that's when I saw Whitty. He was the one behind the explosions. He then threw a ball at me, which exploded and caused my game to crash. If you're enjoying the story so far and think we can stop Whitty, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Now that I knew that Whitty was the one behind the explosions, I had to come up with a solution to save not only myself but also the rest of the crewmates and the airship. But first I need to check the Scaled, because I wanted to know if they were facing the same issue. And while I was inside of the dropship, I saw an explosion coming from outside, and Whitty was the one outside. But before I could leave, I got into the game. I was the imposter, and the first thing that I did was enter weapons. And that's when me and Lime saw Whitty outside, waiting for an opportunity to break in. Knowing that Whitty was outside of the Scaled, I knew that I had to be in the center of the Scaled if I wanted a chance to even survive. The life of the crewmates are in danger as well as the Scaled. Hopefully the airship is still flying. I was now looking around for any openings, and I was also closing the doors in case Whitty was inside. But as I was walking, I heard an explosion coming from the left side, and Black's body was then reported. I wasn't sure if Lime was the one that took out Black, or if it was Whitty. I then received a message from Whitty, and the message read, "We all float down here. You'll float too." I didn't know what Whitty was trying to say. Is he trying to take us to another dimension? Or maybe he's talking about the crewmates that were falling down the holes that he was creating. He wants us all dead. I was now back in the game and I looked outside weapons, and Whitty was nowhere to be seen, but all I could see was a body of crewmates floating out in space. Knowing that Whitty wasn't outside, he was most likely hiding inside the Scald, so I began to search across the map to confront Whitty. I then heard an explosion coming from storage, and the body was reported. How are we still able to report the bodies of the crewmates if they're floating down in space? That is something I want to know. I then received another message from Whitty, and the message read, "Stare at the dark too long and you will eventually see what isn't there." I knew at that moment that Whitty was talking about me staring out into space and looking for him. I must be next. As I was walking around the Scald, I found one of Whitty's bombs on the floor, and before I could run away, my game crashed. I went back to the airship to see if it was still working, and I somehow got in, and everything seemed to be intact. The airship was still flying. I then heard several explosions coming from the gap room, and that's when I saw Whitty outside the window. He was trying to get inside, and that's when a bomb exploded on my face, and a body was reported. I let the crewmates know about the bomb that hit me, and the crewmate was most likely one of Whitty's victims. I then spawned in and I heard an explosion coming from the cargo bay. Whitty is inside the airship, so I made my way over there to see what was going on. And that's when I saw Whitty hiding behind the cargo. And that's when I heard the explosion. He's trying to go after me. I continued to run because I was so scared. Why is Whitty trying to get me? And I managed to hide in communications. And at this point I haven't heard anything. So I decided to do my task. And I have yet to see Whitty anywhere. Where is he hiding? I then heard another explosion, and Tan's body was reported. Whitty was going after the crewmates. And when I spawned in the main hall, my screen began to glitch. And I heard many explosions coming from the cargo bay. So I made my way over there, and that's where I found Whitty. Flames were everywhere. Whitty was blowing up the airship. I then went all the way to cargo bay and I hid in a corner with Rose. We were both very scared. I could then hear the explosions getting closer to me, and I saw a few flames. Whitty then appeared right in front of me and Rose. He came from the ceiling, which caused an explosion that destroyed the entire airship. I was now falling from the sky, and a mysterious creature saved me. If you did enjoy this story, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel, and check out these other stories.